call. Chantal Baker, present. Amy Smith, present. Debbie Martin, present. And Claypool and then Diane not present.
Go ahead and begin. We are going to start the night off with student celebrations. We have two great groups, one for April and one for May. So we will be starting with April first. So with that said, we will start with the Early Learning Center.
So our April student of the month is little cutie Temperance Ridgway. Temperance's teacher says that she's bright, spunky, energetic learner who brings so much joy to the classroom each day. And I will say she comes to school every day with a smile. I don't think I've seen her with a frown one time this year. She has an excitement for learning and it shines through in everything she does. She isn't afraid to be herself either. Her spirit and personality keeps their classroom lively and fun, and her teacher is very proud of her growth. Temperance loves pink. She loves playing with paper at school. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one. She wants to be a mermaid when she grows up, and she loves cheese and bananas. So congratulations to Temperance.
We will move forward with elementary.
Okay, for our first student of the month from the elementary school is Mr. Corbin Gibson. We asked him, I interviewed him, and it was one of my most favorite interviews I've done this year, but he said there were three things he loved. He said basketball, sports, and Jesus. And I said, wait, can I put those in a different order? And we did. He said, if that's okay with you, I said, there you go, priority. His favorite things, Papa John's pizza. His favorite color, three-way tie, black, white, and red. Favorite subject was math, and then here are some things that your teacher said. We chose Corbin because of the growth and maturity he has shown this year. Corbin has become a great example, makes good choices, and still enjoys learning. He works hard, he's eager to help out, brings a lot of fun to the classroom too. He always has a smile and is really funny as well. In our special area classes, we have all seen him take big strides this year in various ways. We're very lucky to see our student growth in this manner from year to year, and Corbin has done a great job. So the ways that I asked him, how are some ways that you belong? And he said he's on a basketball team, part of Life Street Church, and just by helping others. Things that help him grow, eating healthy, exercising, and working with his mom. And then I said, contribute, kind of a hard one. He's listed some of those things as a way that he belongs, and he said, I said, how do you contribute? What do you do to help others? And he said, that's just part of my personality. He said, it's Jesus and he really helps me. He said he always did the right thing, so I try to do it too. So this is Corbin Gibson. Do you want to come take pictures?
This way.
I do not think that my student of the month of April nervous here either. She had a softball game tonight. We'll go ahead and go over her highlights anyway. Our student of the month for 7th grade in middle school is Josie Wumble. Her favorite color is ocean blue. Favorite food is chicken tenders and fries, and her favorite subject is lunch. Things that she loves: Disney, Swedish candies. I'm gonna have to find out what a Swedish candy is. That sounds good. And softball. These are things that are hot off the press. This semester is my first time meeting Josie, and she has grown on me a lot. She is a sweet person who is always ready to show me what she is will be doing with her nails next. Excited to talk about Disney, and goes the extra mile in her work. Josie is patient and kind to those around her, regardless of who it is. I see Josie excelling once she gets to high school, bringing top academic achievement to a new level for our school. She is a wonderful student and assets to our community. And how she belongs: she's part of the middle school cheer team. She's a member of the the Junior National Honor Society, and she's part of the middle school softball. How she grows: she is very proactive about her grades and keeping them up. She always puts in a lot of effort in her work, and she became the softball starting pitcher this year. Now she contributes. She helps classmates when needed. She encourages friends, and she is always kind and understanding. That's our student, Josie Wong.
Next up, we have high school.
So for the high school for April, we had 2 students of the month. One is for art and one is for music. The one for music was Alton Ross for our seniors. Where he belongs, Alton is one of the kindest young men in our school. He's welcoming to all and makes them feel like they belong and are part of the community. He is well liked by all his peers and his friends in all parts of the community. He also has some very good style when it comes to dressing. So as far as he grows, seen a tremendous growth in all this school year. He's grown as a teacher by helping the 6th grade classroom, and has grown as a musician by writing his own compositions. He even got to direct a live jazz playing something he wrote. It was incredible to see what he has done and work that he does continue to grow. One of the things that, I don't know if you guys were at the band concert, but they actually performed some of his pieces, our own band, in the last band concert. It was pretty awesome. As far as contributing, all contributes in the band room as a leader and as a great musician. I can rely on him to help his classmates even without direct instruction. He is also able to jump in on any part that may be needed during the performance, and has done an excellent job of being the spirit of the pep band. So that is Alton Ross.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I'll go here and get a picture.
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. High school student lunch for art is another senior kid. Mrs. Peters commented, Kate makes everyone in her circle of friends feel valued and appreciated. She is kind and helpful and always willing to help those around her, even though she is a quiet in nature. She consistently shows kindness and inclusion, especially in the way she supports and looks out for her younger sister. I count on her to help anyone who needs it at times. The way she grows, great. Cadence has been in my art classes since her freshman year. She is creative and talented. She does not shy away from a challenge and always gives her best effort. She has created many nice art pieces over the years thanks to her commitment and perseverance. I hope she will continue to make new art in the future. As far as contributing, Kate is my cadet this year. She never complains about the work we need help with, from prepping supplies, painting, or cutting frames for our work. Her efforts mean that our room runs smoothly from day to day. I could not do without her, and I'm thankful she chose to work in my classroom. Kate has also made artwork for our Veterans Day displays and other projects around the school. That's Kate's home.
All right, so that was April. So now we're gonna move on to May, student of the month. And we will start with the Early Learning Center.
I'm gonna read off my paper, this is a little easier for you to see. So, our May student of the month is Mr. Bentley Bullock, who just made it. I have been lucky enough to be Bentley's teacher for the last 2 years, and he's just an absolute joy to have in the classroom. He's a really good leader, he leads by example, and he's always looking out for everyone in the classroom. It's just a great thing to see. He's kind to everyone, and everyone wants to play with Bentley. Everyone loves Bentley. He's a wonderful helper, and he has a very sensitive and caring heart, which I think is why everyone wants to play with him, and he's just a great friend. He loves giving compliments, and he loves to cheer his friends on. I'm very proud of him, and I'm going to miss him. His favorite color is blue. He said what he loves about school are his teachers. When he grows up, he wants to be a doctor, and he loves meatballs. He's the most meatball-eating boy I've ever seen. So congratulations to Bentley.
All right, our next elementary student of the month is Miss Delaney Moore. She's a fourth grader. Some of the things that she shared, we had a really fun time talking, and I love her answers. This was really cool. She loves martial arts, and she is a red belt, brown stripe. That sounds really important. I don't know, but it's awesome. She loves that her mom does so much for her. I love that so sweet. And she loves how all of her sisters and family and friends are always there for her. Her favorite thing, how about steak? Sounds great. Her favorite color is green, and her favorite subject is science or math. Her teacher had to say, Delaney has made so much progress this school year. She's such a sweet girl and always tries her best. I'm so happy to have been able to teach her and watch her grow this year. Ways that she belongs in martial arts. She has a strong friend group, which I loved for her, and then through her church as well. Growing, she's grown by meeting new people, which I thought was one of the best answers all year. It's a great way to learn and grow. Talking to people about their emotions, and my mom helps me, like bed and screen time and drinking soda or pop. So those are good ways to grow. She contributes by standing up for others, and she also helps others with their work, but she also has a really unique quality where she can help calm the students in the class. And she's just very, very caring and innocent. So that's Delaney Moore.
May student of the month is Davis Spurlock. Davis's favorite color is blue. His favorite food is crab. Now, is it whole crab or is it crab legs? Any crab. And then favorite subject is math. Things that he loves is Call of Duty, band, and the guitar. How long have you been playing the guitar? Got it for Christmas. Okay, so not very long. I'll be looking forward. So these are all hot off the press. Davis is a very strong student in the 8th grade. He is always willing to help his peers become a better musician, but also learns from others. He is always an active participant in class and is a player his peers can rely on. Davis showcases all of the traits of being a knight and will continue to grow in his high school years. This is how Davis belongs. He is always an active part of lessons. He is a team player, and he is always willing to help his peers. How he grows, Davis has grown as a musician, playing much more difficult percussion parts. He has grown as a person, becoming more of a leader. He has also grown as a musician by learning guitar. And this is how he contributes. Davis contributes by bringing questions and suggestions to rehearsal, always attending school, and helping organize percussion instruments after class. This is our student of the month, Davis Spurlock.
So that's before the May, we had 2 students a month again today. I do not believe our room. Coming, all of us, all the students a month, last students were all seniors. Person Logan Seal, Logan belongs by his positive attitude and welcoming students who helps others feel better. He treats people with kindness, involves all of us around him, and helps the nation to be a better place. And for growing, Logan has continued to grow through hard work and determination. He takes pride in being his best and continues to push himself to improve. There's tremendous growth and is beyond ready for the next level. As for contribute, Logan contributes through his positive attitude, strong work ethic, and willingness to help others. He's a perfect example of a classmate, teammate, and friend who represents Northeastern well in everything that he does. And that is Logan Seal. And our other student is Caleb Larch. Caleb Larch brings positive energy wherever he goes. He is friendly, approachable, and always makes others feel included. His personality and sense of humor help create a welcoming atmosphere for those around. Caleb has shown strong growth through his hard work and determination. He pushes himself to do his best, takes pride in his work, and continues to improve both inside and outside the classroom. He is destined for great things in his future. As for contributing, Caleb is dependable and always willing to help others when needed, even stepping up to be a strong leader in BPA when the entire organization needed him. Whether working with classmates or participating in school activities, he leads by example through his attitude, effort, and character. And that's Caleb Larch. Fun fact for those two, they're both going to IU's Kelly School this year. So, got it.
All right, all these celebrations, I need to look at my agenda and see what's next. All right, we are going to move on to administrative reports, and we will start with our superintendent.
Well, the school year is coming to a close. I want to thank all of the staff and families just for all of the wonderful events and celebrations for our students. And with that, I want to highlight just a couple of changes for next year. Just a reminder that we have adjusted the start and ending times. And with that, we will be following a 2-hour delay schedule for inclement weather rather than a 9-minute delay schedule. Also, based on enrollment, we will have 5 sessions of preschool next year, and all of the preschool classes will be housed at the Early Learning Center. Just to highlight the agenda this evening, we're going to be hearing from Sarah Scott. Sarah is the Executive Director of Communities and Schools, and Heather Harper from the BPS Architecture will be giving us some construction updates. I would also point out to you on the personnel consent agenda, softball will be traveling to Winchester on Memorial Day. So we do have one gracious bus driver, so thank you to Ron Lentz, who will be driving on the holiday. So we want to compensate him for holiday pay for that bus trip. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Sarah Scott.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight. As she said, I'm Sarah Scott, Executive Director of Communities and Schools of Boone County. And I just wanted to share a little bit about our organization and the impact that our programming has had in Northeastern this year. It's been an exciting year of growth and collaboration and meaningful progress for students across our district. Thank you. So as we know, across Wayne County, students are facing challenges that extend beyond the classroom. They're dealing with attendance concerns, social emotional needs, and unmet basic needs, which all create barriers to academic success. These challenges require intentional support systems so that students can fully engage and thrive. And that's where Communities and Schools comes in. We work by identifying the root causes behind these barriers, and we provide targeted relationship-based support. We connect students and families to critical resources while partnering directly with school staff to address non-academic challenges that may impact their learning. This next slide, it has a pretty lengthy story, but I'll just summarize it. The impact that we provide is best seen through individual student growth. In this example, one student we supported began the year disengaged, he lacked confidence, but then through his site coordinator, he was able to get consistent encouragement and hands-on support, particularly with the wigwam project that they do. He didn't have the supplies, he was like, I'm just not gonna do it. And so our site coordinator jumped in, helped him go outside, they collected supplies, they worked on it together, and that built his confidence up. And as a result, this student increased his classroom participation, and we began to see confidence in himself and see success as something within his reach. That brings me to some of our results that we've seen this year. The data presented here, this is for the first semester. We're still aggregating data for the second semester, so we'll have that in the coming months. But these percentages represent 117 case managed students across the district. Those are students that are getting one-on-one support from our site coordinators. They have 83% of those students improved their attendance, 86% showed improved behavior, 85% improved their academics or their grades. And then another support that we provide, which is a school-wide support, is basic needs items. And we provided over 2,000 basic needs items to the school in the first semester alone. So that's a big so the outcomes we've seen, they're measurable, they're encouraging. At this stage, we're seeing strong indicators that targeted support is making a meaningful difference in attendance, behavior, and academic success for the students. Thank you so much for your time and for continued commitment to the students in Northeastern Wayne Schools. Over this past year, the partnership between CIS and Northeastern has grown exponentially, and the level of collaboration with school administrators and educators is at an all-time high. I'm very proud of that, and together we've already been putting a strong plan in place for this next school year, and I'm very excited to continue to support our guidance and ensure every student has the resources and
relationships they will How many students are in Northeastern School District? How many are in your program?
So 117 case managed, but we provide school-wide services to any student. A lot of those are called tier 1 services. Those are, sometimes like school dentists we bring into the school. Sometimes there's assemblies that we would manage as well. Any type of basic need or support is available to any student within the district, not just
And then you said the 2005, is that in Wayne County?
No, that's just Northeastern. Across the county is around 4,000 for the first semester. Thanks for having me.
Next. Heather? Yeah, that's right. Stay.
So I'm here just to give you a construction update. In case you haven't noticed, we took a lot of brick off the building recently. So they're well underway, and currently we are dealing with some new issues that I'm sure you've heard about. We were faced with some structural challenges as we took brick off and discovered that the block walls were not necessarily designed to support themselves. So we have a structural engineer who has designed a girder system. So it's horizontal steel beams that will wrap the outside of the building to create a safe and strong, and you're never going to tear this building down again. So it is going to push back our timeline a little bit from where we thought would be done about the beginning of the school year. There will be some additional costs and impacts to the overall budget. I think we're still comfortable, but it's going to add a little bit of extra time and a little bit of extra work. Obviously, there's discomfort because we did decide that it was probably the safest to not have students in there. This building has stood for a really long time. I don't think it's going to hold down on you, but we definitely want to be safe. So that was definitely my decision to just keep it out of there. So you'll start to see steel here in the next month going up and creating our building belts all the way around the building, 3 different layers of that up. And we'll put the metal panels on top of that. You won't see the steel at all anymore. It's just like it's flat metal panels. And now that's and then, additionally, the tax project will be starting to so this is some construction will not begin now and we'll start getting demo. So we'll see the track will get completely removed and there's for a new athletic surface. We are still on track for that being done before football season kicks off. And we'll have those additional questions.
Go ahead. I think this is a silly question, but you said it will have like the metal panels?
Yeah.
Is that the end result or we put in brick?
No, we're not putting brick.
Okay, so if that's.
Yes, the outside of the upper part of the building is going to be metal panels. So the other higher volume over here that was added on in the early 2000s, those have metal panels on it. And then back on the ag building, we've got some metal panels up high up there. We're matching the ag building. Metal panels are similar. They're not similar to the ag building metal panels. And so that'll be a lighter weight. You're also creating a structural sequence of residual should be intended to be structural. It'll be a not right up there. We are replacing breakdown walls. That's one of our cosmetic.
So are you far enough in now that you don't see anything else to proceed, that we would need to have additional costs or more material? I mean, where are we at with, oh yeah, now this has happened too. Where are we at in that process?
Yeah, so I'd say we're not completely out of the woods yet, as we have uncovered take the brick off, say the ag building area, you can see now that the CMU, the concrete blocks that are there are cracking in ways that give us the indication that they're not structurally sound, and that's a thing you can't see till you take the brick off. So we do have an estimate out right now to reinforce that. We're going to rebuild that corner, add rebar, see that all in, and reinforce those corners before we cover it up so that we're not leaving anything structurally unsound as we make new modifications. So I think that we're close to having uncovered all of those, but we haven't moved the brick everywhere yet. So until we take off all of it, I don't think we're going to be able to say that there's we do anticipate that there's been some additional costs because the way that this building is just the way that we would normally build a masonry structure is we would do fully grouted concrete below grade, so whether that's poured concrete or CMU concrete. We would grout that solid below grade, and then we'd set the brick on top of that. And as we take the brick off, we can see now below. That brick doesn't have anything but
Is that code then? Yeah, that's what I was curious. Did they do it wrong or
we
is that
didn't really
just
have
not?
this kind of building code standards when some of these older parts of the building were developed, especially when they had adopted it existed, but it wasn't necessarily as strict as it is now. So we are digging down and creating a good foundation for that. So that's added costs that as we get around the building, we'll have. We're anticipating that it'll be that way. The drawings show it with block below, the way that it was drawn. So it's just seeing what's in the drawing versus what is actually there. This is part of what we knew could happen and would be open possibilities, so that we should be in okay shape for it.
So then you mentioned estimates. When should we have all of them done?
Yeah, and we're on track for staying on top of it and making really quick decisions, trying to stay ahead of the contractor and being really reactive. The school has been excellent about turning things around, giving us quick answers for our design teams, trying to work as fast as possible, but hopefully there's a little impact as possible on everyone else.
And then when you say it's gonna prolong a little bit, what's that time frame look like? This would like the football and.
So that shouldn't impact the track at all. And those are operating as two separate projects. So as of right now, there's no reason to think that will impact the track project in any way. We anticipate that once you get the steel on the building, even if the project's not totally completed, you should be able to go back to using the gymnasium. So we won't have that extended timeline. I think we were done about mid-August previously, and this could potentially practice up to 8 to 10 weeks. But we shouldn't see that that whole 8 to 10 weeks of added time being that the gym is closed.
So I assume once the metal panels are up, all of that's sealed so that water doesn't get in and continue to deteriorate as well?
Yes, absolutely. We are insulating as well, so there's less thermal expansion and movement. That was another to the way that the original building was. So we're adding insulation, and it'll be a layer of plywood that has a weather barrier over it. That weather barrier creates a weather-tight seal. And on top of that, we've got flashing and water out. The flashing and directs water out of the building. And then the metal panels on top of that, which should also integrate into the other roof. So we've got quite a few layers that will happen before we can block them.
So at the end of the day, just curiosity, would it be cheaper to build one together?
Absolutely not. You couldn't. Not when you put it here, this one down, and then put another one back out, and hold on to another area, and you still have to fix this one. So it wouldn't. Even less heartache for graduation in the back. That would have been about it. Good questions, though.
Dan, did you have any questions?
Yes.
Right, thank you. Safe to have us back, I think I hear it.
I feel like it's been
Yeah, I know.
all the time. It's great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, community comments. Do you have any? Have nobody signed in this week? Really? Community comments? Okay. All right, next up is consent item. In there, we've all received, it is on the website, approval and signing of the minutes from April 15, approval of claims, donations, fundraisers, field trips, overnight field trips are out of state, and all personnel. Before we discuss that, Mr. Burns, do you have anything, consent items you can go over?
No, I mentioned earlier that we just have Memorial Day, plus softball.
Questions or discussions, anything?
I make a motion to approve the consent items.
Motion made by Ms. Claypool to approve the consent items, seconded by Ms. Barker, all in favor? All right, new business, looks like we have information on the food services.
Yes, tonight, we have a recommendation to increase the lunch prices by 5 cents across the board.
We know that pretty much all the state, the increasing prices.
It's just kind of just as what we see at grocery and at the home. So,
Questions or discussions on? Motion made by Ms. Smith, seconded by Ms. Claypool to approve food services lunch fee increase. All in favor? Policy review and update, we were all shared the volume 37. This is the first reading that we received. Has everybody read it? Are there any concerns? Second reading, discussion?
And I would just add, in addition to volume 37, there's also the transfer student target threshold and policy as well.
If it's okay, I would like to go to second reading. I didn't get through all of them. I make a motion to approve the first reading and send to second reading.
Can we look at going ahead and approving the transfer target? So, and then do the policy for next time.
Which one is the last one? So I make a motion to approve the transfer target threshold and non-renewal policy.
Motion made by Ms. Claypool to approve the turning renewal threshold and non-renewal student transfer, second by Ms. Smith, all in favor?
And then I make a motion to approve the first reading of the policy.
No, just, it's the volume, so you can just say volume
Volume
37.
37 and set for second reading.
Motion made by Ms. Claypool to remove policy volume 37 to second reading, second by Ms. Barker, all in favor? All right, so then we go into unfinished business, and I think we have some conversation on
Yes,
that.
so I did add, I knew that there would be some questions, for the last few days, going through all of the bonds, to give you an update on where we are. See it small, you can, if you want, take a copy. Some of the Okay. First of all, right now we're working in the 2024 bond, but I did go back and look. We actually have a 2021 bond that still has $5,268.39 that was not spent. And if this tells you anything, it's 25 years old, but it was for elementary HVAC. We will be, even though time has passed, I've checked with Mission, we are going to be able to spend those funds. It just happens 25 years later, we're doing an HVAC project. We will use those remaining funds for the HVAC work that we're wrapping up this summer at the elementary. And when we go over the 2024 bond, you'll see that amount then will be basically $5,000 less that we will have to spend out of the 2024 bond. But I think it's been it's been 25 years, so it's probably time to get that one closed out. The school corporation also had a bond from 2019. That bond was part of the project for the remodeling of the early learning center and when the student services center was built. And I found there's $3,480.36 left in that. And so, we want to make sure that we're using that bond money for the intended purpose. They do have just some parking lot repairs. So we'll be using that amount for asphalt and crack filler things to do some improvements there as well. All right, if you look at the 2024 construction bond. So when we first heard about, some of the issues and things that they have found as they were moving the brick, and we have brick laying on dirt, and we're having to do some of those repairs. So the top amount shows the amount of the bond. That first dollar amount, that is the elementary HVAC project. And that includes contingencies. Right now, there's a couple minor things with like a cap on the roof. We're looking at, as soon as school's out, there was a little bit of a delay. The units have actually been in storage. Now that school's out, we'll be getting those out and they'll be installed. So that should be happening in the next couple weeks, and I'll have a better idea. But as of today, we should have about $100,000 that we should come in about $100,000 under that amount. So we'll have that to use, but I'll have that number for you in a month. But as of today, about $100,000. So you can see $1.5 million is what we had for the high school exterior renovation project. I did go ahead and add in, we're looking at about $400,000 for the additional steel work. I did go back and look, the $15,500, that was paid out of the bond, and that would have been the work that you did. I think they did the RFQ back in November of 2024. So you would have been billed in 2025, but that would have been those reinforcement plates that are in the corners of the gym. So that was the 15.5. So you can see we have just under $1 million budgeted in for the track resurfacing. Part of the HVAC, the original project did not have the controls written in. So back in the fall, they did a change order to be able to include those. The actual cost of that, you can see was 128, just a little over 128,000. With that, they do need a software upgrade to the system. Ours is outdated in order to be able to run those controls, and that actual cost was around 45,000. So that gives you an idea of where we are. Now, of course, you have, the fees, you have your soft costs, you have the architect. One of the unexpected was having to bring in a structural engineer. I've factored that in as well. That is a not to exceed amount, so we're not there yet, just kind of budgeting on the high end. As of right now, we did have in, if we needed to do some surveying, we haven't used that yet, so that's, so you can see the projected total cost, and so as of right now, we're looking at about 387,000 remaining. So that gives us a little bit of wiggle room, and I would add that that is not taking out any of the contingencies at this point. So that will be still keeping the courtyard in, and that still includes the bleachers as part of the bond project. So we're not to the point where we are looking at rainy day or we're looking at additional bonds. I'll continue to monitor this. We'll update this. Again, these are, on the high end to be conservative. But I feel comfortable right now that if we do have some other surprises, that we do still have some funds available before we have to make some other decisions. So I wanted to bring to you tonight just kind of an update on the bonds. So at this point, I'm not bringing you any recommendations to do as far as rainy days. Does anybody?
We have to do anything in the room about
We don't, because so what she's referring to, there's a 20% change order cap or threshold, but there's also in the law that if there are like unforeseen circumstances, that you do not have to do that. And I did consult with the attorney at Ice Miller to confirm that, and I will send you that as well. And just to give you an idea when you're thinking about big projects, we have some things that need some attention and some love, and this project being one of them. I'm glad that we're at the point where we're able to do that. But I wanted to give you an idea now that you have a better idea of the money. So what happens if we still have this money left? What are some other projects that we need to look at, which is a better place to be than having to look at rainy day? One of the things that we had looked at with the gym being closed, it's very hard to even find the time to wax or the floor. And so we thought, okay, while the gym's closed, this would be a good time to have it sanded and refinished. So we had them come in, three company come in to look at it. We thought it had probably one more sanding. It does not. And so it cannot be sanded, so now we're to the point that it stays as it is until we're ready to replace it. So when it gets down to be too thin, then it can't be sanded anymore. So if we were to replace the gym floor, we're looking at $167,700. $167,700.
How long is the gym?
I don't know what it's. I have to look, it doesn't say on here.
I remember it being like a terrible. remember
I
being
feel
like,
like,
really long.
no, and it's not, I don't, it's not necessarily the number of years, it's the number of seasons.
Right.
Like how long, so if you don't sand it, I mean, it's usually a lot longer. But that just gives you an idea of the cost. The other thing I've been looking at, just on some of the things that people have brought to my attention. If we were to replace the football lights, and that would be including new poles, we're looking at, just under about 250,000. Which that's on the low end of, seen some estimates anywhere between, that's kind of on the low end up to even, 500,000.
How long ago did we replace it? Seems like it's been a long. Has it been looking at it?
And their wood poles, they're starting to deteriorate. It does. It does. One of the other things, just as we talked about the HVAC at the elementary, we're really at the same, we're in kind of the same predicament in this building as far as the controls and the update. We're running off of a pretty old system. You can see I put that at the bottom of the budget. That would probably be a priority if we do have dollars remaining. So we're looking at about 132,000 for upgrading our controls, and that is for HVAC. Other projects that we can look at as well that are less expensive if you piece them out and do them in stages would be some upgrades to the lighting. The lighting in the gym, the lighting here in the cafeteria, hallway lighting, exterior lighting, yes, parking lots, always things like that. And part of that is, again, when you say lighting, it's like, well, it looks okay in here, but it's not just the lighting, it's the efficiency of it and being on older system and converting to more energy saving, yes, type things and stuff. So I have price breakdowns on all that. It's not anything that we need to go over tonight, but just thinking ahead in the future and looking at our dollars, think about what are, as the board, what are your priorities going to be as far as what needs to be done and what we're going to do next.
Do you know, are we getting new windows on that east side? With the ag and everything, all those classrooms? I couldn't remember.
25,000.
Anything?
And I would say that we do have some other projects that are slated for this summer. We have some door replacements that will be taking place here. If you look at the elementary, you see some orange like fencing. So we're looking at actual fencing there, but that is not out of the bond. We do have a COPS grant, which is like a federal safety grant. And so a lot of those projects are within in that grant. So that includes the fencing for the elementary school, doors at all of the buildings, the key fob systems, those kind of things. So we'll be working on some of those things this summer as well, separate from the bond.
Next up is board comments. And we know there's a gonna tell Billy this information. Thank you for being here, Billy. There's two things that I wanted to know. One is I wanted to shout out and thanks to Mr. Brady for coming over and helping the high school choir get their final concert in this year. I appreciated that, especially for the seniors, so they had that last opportunity to have a choir concert before they left their school. So I think that was huge. So shout out, thank you to him. Also, I wanted to make sure we recognize two of our parents. Amanda Hager and Heather McDaniel were at the boys varsity baseball game versus Cowan at Cowan. And one of the Cowan players crossed the plate. One of our students tagged him in the chest, and as he was walking back to his dugout, he collapsed. Both of those parents are ours. They sprung to action. They used the AED machine, shocked him, got him back to where he needed to be. Luckily, the kid recovered. It was a really weird situation, but I thought that was pretty awesome to know that both of them just jumped in, did what they were supposed to, with human beings. So I think nurses. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty good share, and just shout out to them for 100% as well, and also take care of their emergencies like that. Other than that, the only thing I have to say is, will the rain please go away? And the wind. Ah, ready for summer. Anybody else have anything?
The other thing I would just remind, our Shining Night celebration for our staff is this Friday. So the celebration starts at 11 o'clock. Lunch we serve at 11:30 here in the cafeteria. And we will be announcing our elementary, middle school, and high school teachers, as well as our support staff will be here. So, and we'll also be recognizing, of course, retirees, but also years of service with them. So we're looking forward to that.
Now, is there elementary, middle school, and high school?
It's in with elementary.
How many retirees do we have?
One. And it's, we don't have any teachers retiring, just the school staff.
Who is the retiree? Surprise. We'll all be surprised. Oh.
I just told you they have one retiree.
Any other board comments and quick comments? Do you have anything? There's a chance. All right. Have the motion?
Make motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Ms. Martin to adjourn, second by Ms. Smith, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, Dan. Be safe. See ya.
Thanks, Dan.
Bye, Dan.